guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Marvel Strike Force. That's right, part 2 of the 3-part sponsor series here, but it's not like every other sponsored video that you see on YouTube. We actually have good content here because I'm joined by Tauna, back again on the channel. How you doing, man?
Going really, really well.
Yeah, it's I've made some progress since we last spoke, and my viewers should check out certainly episode 1 of this kind of beginner series for Marvel Strike Force. This is sponsored, but again, dude, listen, I think I underestimated my homework for today's video. I have so many questions for you, but the biggest thing I want my viewers to take away from this video is a good idea of multiple best options for starting teams, what type of heroes to really invest in, and then I want to have a million questions I want to ask you as well. So let's start with those basics. Why don't you list off maybe a couple of your favorite teams for players to get started in this game? What type of characters can you invest in that will kind of really make it into the mid and the end game and still provide value?
Definitely. So probably my top 2, I'd say, would be Sinister Six, as you've got on the screen, and the Wave 1 Avengers. And the Wave 1 is just because you get to like use your favorite Marvel heroes. It's just really cool. And Sinister Six, I mean, I always loved the Sinister Six when I was younger. Dr. Octopus is like one of my favorite Marvel characters. So,
listen, when you start this game, it's not immediately apparent, like, how to get these champions. I guess you can see where you can get them in campaign or whatnot. So, how would you go about collecting? What's the best way to collect all of these heroes?
So just farming like the nodes every day, like the different campaign nodes, and keeping an eye on the stores. So for the Wave 1 Avengers, you've got like Captain America, Hawkeye, and Black Widow, who are all from nodes. Then Thor from the raid store, and Hulk is just from achievements. So as you're going and doing more stuff in the game, you'll just easily unlock him.
Okay, so we did Wave 1 Avengers. So Hawkeye, Captain America, Black Widow. Who else should I focus on after that? Thor?
Thor and Hulk.
Okay, who's the best out of those, or is there no best?
Not really a best. They all work really well together. So, personally, I'm a massive fan of Captain America just because he has a really cool like protector defensive kit, and he helps like keep his team alive and stuff. And Thor is just like the massive damage dealer, so he's always great to kind of have built up really high as well.
Okay, cool. Now, so I have Sinister Six, which, harkening back to the last video, I invested in Guardians because I watched a 1.5 old YouTube video, and they're like, this is the best team to invest in. Shame on me, right, as a content creator myself. And you were like, nah, dude, nah, that's old. It's outdated. You don't want Guardians. So I've been spending the last month or the last few weeks between the first video and now kind of focusing on a Sinister Six. So I'm going to ask you the same question about Sinister Six that I did about the Avengers. Is there a best champion? And the reason I ask that isn't just anecdotally. It's for me, I struggle on who to focus in on a daily basis, right? You only have so many resources, so I don't know how to prioritize. Should I go, with Mysterio, since I already have him as my highest level or the highest upgraded hero here, or do I go with Rhino to try to get everybody on the same level,
So I aim to keep them all around the same level because it makes Blitz easier and stuff. Because Blitz is like based off of your whole team's level. So having them all around the same level is probably the best idea. But from the ones you've got, like Vulture is probably like the main carry damage like the main damaging character there.
Okay.
Having Mysterio and Shocker up as well are really great because they kind of provide buffs to the team. So keeping them alive is kind of really important.
Okay, so you would say that the best is Vulture, at least DPS wise?
Yeah, DPS wise, he probably provides the most damage and a lot of control as well. So making sure that you're kind of winning.
In the early game, is it like if you just load resources into your DPS, your damage dealers, are you like looking pretty good? Or
yeah, I think it's like aiming like having your damage dealers higher up is best. Also, just making sure that like if you find your damage dealers are dying too quickly, like switch over to working on your tank for a bit. So on the Sinister Six, your Rhino, just making sure that he's alive and having heaps of health. He gets a lot of health from being on the team, so working him up is great as well.
So what I've been doing, Tauna, is basically on a daily basis, I've been focusing on maybe 1 or 2 of these heroes and really investing resources into getting mats and whatever. And I just kind of want to walk you through the process that I'm doing and just ask like a couple questions. So basically every day I go, okay, I'm going to start with, whatever. I'll go Vulture, right? So I click find, and basically I auto to win until I get the mats that I need. Is that basically as simple as that? Is that the best method to do? And then I'll do it like that, and I'll go in and okay. So in terms of the abilities, though, right? That's another area where I'm very unclear. There's only so many ability upgrades to go around, so where should I be focusing on? Who should I prioritize? Or does it really not matter? Should I take like a champion, I always gonna say champion, but should I take a hero like Shocker and just go on his, should I max out his level 1 or his concussion bolt, or should I go to the Vibro Shock?
Like you look at one team and then max them, so Sinister Six for you. And then what I usually do is go through their upgrades. So when you click on a character and like look at their abilities, when you click on the ability, it'll say what the next upgrade brings. So if it's something like that one, the basic from Mysterio, you're going to be able to clear an extra positive effect. That can make a massive difference in a fight. Or something like Shocker's special, his special ability. Upgrading that early is great because it gives offense up to the rest of your team, which means that he's Sonic Dissonance. Sonic Dissonance. Upgrading that gives an extra offense up to one of your team members, which means you're just dealing a whole lot extra damage. So that's the way I do it. It's kind of a little time consuming to go through the different upgrades when you get this stuff, and once you kind of know it a little bit more, it gets a bit easier. You can kind of just glance through it, but at the start it's like just reading through and seeing like, is this going to be a massive upgrade compared to the other ones? Okay,
so what would your third team be? Because we've covered 2. What would be the third option?
So the third one's kind of a bit unorthodox, which is villain mutants. So like the Marauders is like the main ones you'd be working on there, but you can work on the Brotherhood as well alongside them. They're a little bit harder to farm, but they're not too hard. Like Strife is just in the Blitz store, Sinister's in the Alliance War store, you've got Mystique, who's just from a node, Sabretooth from Raid store, and then if you can buy like one character in the game, Emma Frost is a great option. But if not, you can like work up any other villain mutant to go alongside them.
Okay, cool. So we have our 3 teams. What if you wanted to whale out in this game? If you wanted to spend money, what would be the best team overall? Nothing matters. Who's the best team?
At the moment, probably the best team to whale out on is just the Symbiotes. The Symbiotes are like meta all the way up to end game. They're going to be Alliance War meta. You can just auto through your raids and everything like that. You can do them in arena. They'll go really well in arena. Anyone who's like worked on Asgardians, you'll be able to counter them because built into their kits is just stuff that can counter them. The issue is there that most of them, like you've got Scream, Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Anti-Venom, they're all like only from orbs, so you can't like farm them from anywhere.
Okay.
So you have to like purchase them.
So if I wanted to get Scream, I would have to basically get either straight up buyer or what would be my best, like just out of curiosity, what would be the best way? Let's say I did want to spend a few dollars to try to test my luck. What would be the best, like out of all these orbs? I'm still at the point, even though I've been playing for months, like daily, I still don't know exactly what I just kind of go through the process of all my dailies and stuff like that. I don't know what every single thing does in terms of bang for your buck.
If you're wanting a specific character, just buying their character offers, like the one that's on the far right is the only real way to get it, because if you buy premium orbs, there's a lot of characters in there. If you wanted to like work on your whole roster, then the premium orbs and the mega orbs are a great way to go. They're a little bit on the expensive side, but you can work up your whole roster then. The issue is then that you're going to have potentially some good characters and potentially some that are kind of not going to be mega useful for you.
Okay. What about the Red Star orbs? Are they useless?
They're great for like upgrading your characters, but they don't unlock the character or anything like that. They're like an extra gear tier essentially that you put on top of them.
Okay, so absolute best bet, if you want a character, you just have to spend. But if you don't mind getting other characters, is Mega or Premium better?
Probably the premium ones. The Mega Orbs are a little bit more expensive, and they do like great offers for them every once in a while. Like upcoming, there's an event for the Lunar Festival, and there'll probably be some great offers to go alongside that. And if you can get Mega Orb from that for like $5-10, then it's going to be decent value for you.
Okay, like what about like, and again, this is not, even though this is a sponsored video, guys, feel free not to spend. You can certainly get, but like, I'm asking selfishly for myself. Like, they throw a lot of offers in this game at you, right? And I have no clue like what's good. I haven't really bought much of anything. What should maybe you avoid, and what is a good way to spend money if you decide to spend in this game?
So generally, I avoid the gear offers. They're a little bit more expensive, but those offers there, the Supernatural and the Brotherhood offers, those are like your best value offers you can ever get in the game.
Okay.
It's like 500 shards for $25. Usually they charge $25 for like 50 shards.
Oh, yeah, because we just saw that.
Amazing value.
Okay, so why would I want to invest in Supernatural or Brotherhood? I know that you do need different teams in different areas of this game, but, you know, give me some advice for myself. I know how difficult it is because I went from X-Men to Guardians, now to Sinister Six. Took a lot of time to kind of reset and focus on other heroes. So, you know, for a new player, would you recommend just staying with one team? And even though those offers are really juicy, just trying to stick to one team at first?
I'd be aiming for probably doing like 2 teams. One that is like a global hero or villain team. So like the Wave 1 Avengers suit that really well. And then another one that's like the opposite. So 1 hero, 1 villain team. So that way you can progress through both their campaigns. Because the campaigns are where you're going to be able to farm that gear that you need. It's going to be able to farm characters and stuff. Eventually you kind of widen out a little bit to have like a Mystic and Cosmic team eventually. But like focusing on 1 heroes and villain team at the start is probably your best bet.
Okay, so I have my heroes team because of Guardians, so it actually kind of worked out for me. In terms of the legendary, because you always tell me about, you know, you need to get your legendaries. That's the goal here, ultimately. So is there any way other than of special events to get the legendaries?
No, you just got to, it's basically farm up to 5 stars of the characters required for the legendary and then wait for the legendary to come back around. There is 2 legendaries, 1 at the moment and 1 coming up very soon that are like permanent. In your events, you'll see Iron Man is like a permanent legendary. So he's always there, and you can get him at any time as long as you've got like the requirements for him. I think his requirements are just shield characters.
And I don't have a good shield team, so I haven't really spent any time on this one. So
and then you can unlock the legendaries. It's very similar to that. Like you need, it's usually like 5 characters at 5 characters at 5 stars. The only exception is Phoenix, who requires 6-star characters. And then you just got to wait for it to come back around. Usually they come around like every 2-3 months. And it's totally dependent on like what's going on at the time. Like Star-Lord's coming up very soon. So if you don't have the requirements for Star-Lord already, so that's 5-star Guardians or Ravagers, then you got to wait like 3 months until he comes back around again.
Well, so wait a second. So for me, I have the Guardians. Should I shift my focus now? Give me some homework for video 3, Tauna.
It's probably too late for them now because the event's probably like 2 weeks away. Getting like 2 stars on them in 2 weeks is probably pretty impossible. But keep working up your Sinister Six because then Invisible Woman and Shuri aren't going to be too far away. Then you could potentially make one of them, and then you'll get a great option for using with your in like raids and stuff to go alongside them. What is the hard, just out of curiosity, this is just like lightning round now, what is the hardest area of the game? Like is there anywhere that you haven't beat in this game? So I haven't beaten the new Doom raid that just came out
this one, Doom War?
No, that's the campaign. So there's like a new raid that came out not that long ago. I haven't beaten that yet. And Dark Dimension 4. Dark Dimension's like where you get heaps of gear materials. There's like really rare characters in there that are really difficult, like Ultron and Doctor Doom. Like the strongest characters come from there. And I haven't got that yet. I'm working towards it.
Who are the strongest like 3 characters in the game, if you have any?
Doctor Doom and Thanos alongside the Black Order characters. Maybe Mr. Sinister next. I really like Mr. Sinister. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the game because he clones enemies. You can choose an enemy and then all of a sudden they're on your side as well. And you get to play around.
And those are all
with a whole
Dark Dimension guys?
Mr. Sinister's not. He's actually from Alliance Wars. So
Okay, so let's end this video with me asking you for like goals for next time for the final video in this series, and hopefully we'll kind of continue beyond that too, because I really like this game. It's grown on me, like you start these sponsored series, and at first you're like, okay, I gotta learn the game, and now I'm like, okay, every day is part of my day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really fun game. It's obviously, I mean, you cover it. By the way, big shout out to your YouTube channel. You guys should all go subscribe to Tauna. Great content there. So what should I be focused on right now? Every day, basically, I'm still just handling my daily objectives every day. That's what I do every day. Aside from that, I'll try to push a little bit further in campaign. Maybe I'll try a little bit of extra gearing on any of my characters. But that's pretty much it, for the most part. So what should I be focused on top of that? Where should I be? If I was going to put another 20 minutes a day into this game, in addition to the half an hour, 45 minutes that I already put into it, where should I allocate that?
So I have probably 3 main goals that you could aim towards.
Hit me.
One is working up your Sinister Six to 5-star, so just continuing grinding at that.
Okay.
The second one is your Wave 1 Avengers. As much as the Guardians are great, because you're going to miss Star-Lord this time around, your Avengers are going to be able to be that kind of global team, and because you're going to be unlocking a new campaign soon, which requires a global team, having your Avengers there is going to be great. And then the third one is finding an alliance, because a lot of the game kind of focuses around alliances, and that's where you're going to get your raids and where you can get a whole lot of raid gear and stuff. Get a whole lot of character shards. It's also where you can get into like alliance wars eventually, like once your alliance is at level 20, and that's where, like, in the alliance war store, there's so many characters and so much gear and stuff that you need as well.
Those are 3 great goals. So work on my Avengers team, work on my Sinister Six, get them all 5-starred, and also find an alliance. Anybody out there have an alliance I can join? Let me know in the comments below. Well, thank you, Tauna, so much for your time. Again, it's been a tremendous just talking about the game and getting your live coaching. I really appreciate it, man.
No, it's all good. I'm happy to help.
All right, guys, go ahead and download the game. Maybe we can make an alliance of our own. Again, the link is in the description. A big shout out to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, take care, guys.